Hey everyone, so if you're running a small business right now and trying to figure out what kind of insurance you actually need and who to trust with it, I totally get how overwhelming that feels because it's not about just checking a box. These are the policies that have to show up when something really does go wrong. And these days, with premiums climbing, climate risks on the rise, and lawsuits coming from every direction, it matters more than ever. So in this video, I'll walk you through 3 of the biggest small business insurance providers right now: the Hartford, Next, and Hiscox, and what it's actually like to use them. We'll look at who each one is best for, how they handle claims, what they cost, and what you should know before committing to anything long-term. And by the end, you'll have a much clearer picture of which one fits you best, not just your business, but the way you like to run it. Now, just to set the stage here, because the small business market is a bit of a moving target right now. Rates are really up and down, but especially in areas exposed to wildfires, hail, or major storms. And even if that doesn't affect you directly, it still ripples out and affects everyone. Also, carriers are getting more selective, so even if you've got a clean history, there's still some healthy competition out there, and if you had claims or you're in a higher risk industry, premiums can swing pretty hard, sometimes with very little warning. And then you've got a bunch of newer risks showing up, everything from AI tools and employee disputes to expensive legal settlements that just keep getting bigger. So now more than ever, it's not just about having coverage, it's about finding a provider that understands your business and can adjust with you as things change. Now, if you've ever had to stop what you're doing and deal with massive insurance paperwork, you know how quickly that turns into a time sink. And that's what I like about the Hartford, because once it's set up, you basically can handle things on your own. Their online portal is actually usable. You can log in, update your info, check your billing, tweak your coverage. Like, I had to adjust a liability limit on a contract and it took less than 10 minutes. But if you are stuck or you just want a second opinion, you can still call and get someone who knows what they're talking about. When I had some questions early on, the rep actually explained how it applied to my business instead of just reading me policy terms. Getting a certificate of insurance was also way faster than I expect. Requested online, it shows up the same day. Doesn't seem like a big deal until you need it fast. They also split their claims up by coverage type, like property, liability, or workers' comp, so if something does go wrong, you're not repeating yourself a dozen times to different people who don't know what you do. Now, the pricing is about what you'd expect. The BOP policy averages around $141 a month, general liability alone is around $68, and workers' comp is about $81 if your payroll is under $300K. But you can scale all the way up to $4 million in coverage, so that helps if you're landing bigger clients. And now, if the Hartford does sound like it could be a fit for your setup, there's a link in the description and down in the comments, and that'll take you to the latest deals, and usually those links actually have better rates than what you'd get just going through their main site. Now, next up, and it's probably the easiest option if you just want to get insured fast and move on with your day. It's all online and really quick. Like, I went from quote to coverage in a few minutes. Didn't have to call anyone or wait for someone to email me back. I tried it out as if I was setting up a basic contractor policy, and by the time I finished, the certificate was already in my inbox. That kind of instant access, that's what Next is built around. And once you're set up, managing everything is just as simple. You can log in anytime, make changes, and send proof of insurance to a client on the spot. They've also got live chats and claim support, so if something does go wrong, you're not completely on your own. So if your business isn't high risk, the pricing can be really solid here. General liability starts down at $19 a month. About half of their customers pay around $45 or less. Workers' comp starts at $14 and usually lands between $45 and $75. And if you bundle multiple policies, they'll knock off another 10%. Now, this is not built for complicated setups, okay? There is not much handholding at all. But if you just need coverage that's quick, clear, and affordable, it does that really well. All right, now Hiscox is the one I'd look at if your business doesn't really fit the usual mold. Like if you're a solo consultant or a creative freelancer, or you're just in a field where the risks aren't exactly standard. You can apply online or call and talk it through, which I actually found helpful, especially if you're dealing with client contracts or data risks that don't necessarily fall under a basic policy. But what stood out to me was how tailored it all felt. If you work with electronic data or take short-term gigs overseas, they already have coverage designed for that. You're not patching things together or explaining your job over and over again just to get a quote. And the pricing is totally reasonable, especially if you don't have payroll. General liability can be as low as $30 a month. Their business owner's policy starts at around $42, and for something like consulting with $200K in payroll, general liability could land closer to $29 a month with a $2 million limit. So if you've got a niche setup and you just want clean, focused coverage that actually matches the work you do, Hiscox makes that pretty easy. So here's how I look at it. If you're working solo and just want fast and affordable, cover the basics, Next makes that painless. It is quick, pricing's clear, you're not waiting around to get insured. Now, if you're a freelancer or independent pro doing some more specialized work, Hiscox is probably the better match. Their policies are built for niche situations, and it doesn't feel like a fight just to get what you need. But if you want something that feels more complete, especially if you're planning to grow higher or just don't want to switch providers every year, the Hartford is the one that stands out. It's solid across the board, the coverage is great, and support actually shows up when you need it. And again, if the Hartford feels like the right fit for your business, there's that link down in the description that'll take you to their current offers. Because like I mentioned earlier, those will usually include better rates than what you'll see on their own homepage. Also, if you're interested in working with us or sponsoring a future video, just reach out using the email in the description below. So hopefully you found this helpful, especially if you've been sorting through options and just need a clear picture of what's out there. And if you did, I'd always appreciate a thumbs up. If you got any questions or want to share what's worked for your business, feel free to drop those in the comments. I answer as many of those as I can. Otherwise, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one.